All right, welcome back to the Daily Facts, and we're going to get into part 5 of the Georgia lawsuit filed by Sidney Powell. So let's get right into it. Then Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney wrote October 6, 2006, to the Secretary of Treasury, Henry M. Paulson Jr., objecting to approval of Dominion Smartmatic by CFIUS because of its corrupt Venezuelan origination, ownership, and control. See attached hereto as Exhibit 24, Carolyn Maloney letter of October 6, 2006. Our own government has long known of this foreign interference on our most important right to vote, and it had either responded with incompetence, negligence, willful blindness, or abject corruption. In every CFIUS case, there are two TS/SCI reports generated, one by the ODNI on the threat and one by DHS on risk to critical infrastructure. Smartmatic was a known problem when it was nonetheless approved by CFIUS. The Wall Street Journal in 2006 did an investigation piece and found that Smartmatic came to prominence in 2004 when its machines were used in an election to recall President Chavez, which Chavez won handily, and which the Venezuelan opposition said was riddled with fraud. Smartmatic put together a consortium to conduct the recall elections, including a company called Vista Corp, in which Smartmatic owners had a large stake. For a time, the Venezuelan government had 28% stake in Vista. In exchange for a loan, Vista paid off the loan in 2004, and Smartmatic bought the company the following year. But accusations of Chavez government control of Smartmatic never ended, especially since Smartmatic scrapped a simple corporate structure in which it was based in the US with a Venezuelan subsidiary for a far more complex arrangement. The company said it made the change for tax reasons, but critics, including Representative Carolyn Maloney, Democrat of New York, and TV journalist Lou Dobbs, pounded the company for alleged links to the Chavez regime. Since its purchase by Smartmatic, Sequoia's sales have risen sharply to a projected 200 million in 2006, said Smartmatic's chief executive Anthony Mujisa. Indeed, Mr. Kabuchi testified through his sworn affidavit that he was born in Venezuela, is cousins with Antonio Mujisa, and he has personal knowledge of the fact that Anthony Mujisa incorporated Smartmatic in the US in 2000 with other family members in Venezuela listed as owners. He also has personal knowledge that Anthony Mujisa manipulated Smartmatic to ensure the election for Chavez in the 2004 referendum in Venezuela. He also testified through his sworn affidavit that Anthony Mujisa received tens of millions of dollars from 2003 to 2015 from the Venezuelan government to ensure Smartmatic technology would be implemented around the world, including in the US. See attached hereto Exhibit 25, Juan Carlos Cabucci affidavit. Another affiant witness testifies that in Venezuela, she was in an official position related to elections and witnessed manipulations of petitions to prevent a removal of President Chavez. And because she protested, she was summarily dismissed. Corroborating the testimony of our secret witness and our witness, Mr. Kabuchi, cousin of Anthony Mujisa, who began Smartmatic, and his witness explains the vulnerabilities of the electronic voting system in Smartmatica to such manipulations. See Exhibit 3, Diaz Cardoza affidavit. Specific vulnerabilities of the systems in question that have been documented or reported include: A. Barcodes can override the voter's vote, As one University of California, Berkeley study shows, in all three of these machines, including Dominion voting systems, the ballot marking printer is in the same paper path as the mechanism to deposit marked ballots into an attached ballot box. This opens up a very serious security vulnerability. The voting machine can make the paper ballot to add votes or spoil already cast votes. After the last time the voter sees the paper and then deposit that marked ballot into the ballot box without the possibility of detection. See Exhibit 7. Voting machines were able to be connected to the internet by way of laptops that were obviously internet accessible. If one laptop was connected to the internet, the entire precinct was compromised. We discovered that at least some jurisdictions were not aware that their systems were online, said Kevin Skoglund, an independent security consultant who conducted the research with 9 others, all of them long-term security professionals and academics with enterprise in election security. Vice, August 2019. Let's just read this footnote. Ballot marking devices, BMDs, cannot assure the will of the voters. Andrew W. Appel, Richard T. DeMillo, University of California, Berkeley, 12/27/2019. Exclusive. Critical U.S. election systems have been left exposed online despite official denials. Motherboard Tech by Vice, by Kim Zetter, August 8, 2019. October 6, 2006, Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney called on Secretary of Treasury Henry Paulson to conduct an investigation into Smartmatic based on its foreign ownership and ties to Venezuela. See Exhibit 24. Congresswoman Maloney wrote that it is undisputed that Smartmatic is foreign owned and it has acquired Sequoia. Smartmatica now acknowledge that Antonio Majisa, a Venezuelan businessman, has a controlling interest in Smartmatica, but the company has not revealed who all other Smartmatic owners are. Dominion got in trouble with several subsidiaries it used over alleged cases of fraud. One subsidiary is Smartmatic, a company that has played a significant role in the U.S. market over the last decade, according to a report published by UK-based Access Wire. Litigation over Smartmatic glitches alleges they impacted the 2010 and 2013 midterm elections in the Philippines, raising questions of cheating and fraud. An independent review of the source codes used in the machines found multiple problems, which concluded the software inventory provided by Smartmatic is inadequate, which brings into question the software credibility. Let's just read this footnote. Voting technology companies in the U.S., their histories and present contributions. Access Wire, August 10th, 2017. Dominion acquired Sequoia Voting Systems as well as Premier Election Solutions, formerly part of Diebold, which sold Premier to ES&S in 2009 until antitrust issues forced ES&S to sell Premier, which then was acquired by Dominion. Dominion entered into a 2009 contract with Smartmatic and provided Smartmatic with the PCOS machines, optical scanners, that were used in the 2010 Philippine election, the biggest automated election run by a private company. The international community held the automation of that first election in the Philippines. The results transmission reached 90% of voters 4 hours after polls closed, and Filipinos knew for the first time who would be their new president on election day. In keeping with local election law requirements, Smartmatic and Dominion were required to provide the source code. Let's just read this footnote. Smartmatic, TIM, running out of time to fix glitches. ABS, CBN News, May 4, 2010. The Business of Voting, Penn Wharton, Caulfield, page 16. Smartmatic, TIM running out of time to fix glitches. ABS, CBN News, May 4, 2010. Of the voting machines prior to elections so that it could be independently verified. In late December of 2019, 3 Democrat senators, Warren, Klobuchar, Wyden, and House member Mark Pocan, wrote about their particularized concerns that secretive and trouble-plagued companies have long skimmed on security in favor of convenience. In the context of how they describe the voting machine systems, that 3 large vendors, Election Systems and Software Dominion Voting Systems, and Hart InterCivic, collectively provide voting machines and software that facilitate voting for over 90% of all eligible voters in the U.S. See attached hereto as Exhibit 26, copy of Senator Warren Klobuchar Wyden's December 6, 2019 letter. Senator Ron Wyden, Democrat of Oregon, said the findings, insecurity of voting systems, are yet another damning indictment of the profiteering election vendors who care more about the bottom line than protecting our democracy. It's also an indictment, he said, of the notion that important cybersecurity decisions should be left entirely to county election offices, many of whom do not employ a single cybersecurity specialist. Let's just read this footnote. Presumably, the machines were not altered following submission of the code. London, England, AccessWire, August 10, 2017. Voting technology companies in the U.S., their histories, and present contributions. An analysis of the Dominion software system by a former U.S. military intelligence expert concludes that the system and software have been accessible and were certainly compromised by rogue actors, such as Iran and China. By using servers and employees connected with rogue actors and hostile foreign influences, combined with numerous easily discoverable leaked credentials, Dominion neglectfully allowed foreign adversaries to access data and intentionally provided access to their infrastructure in order to monitor and manipulate elections, including the most recent one in 2020. See Exhibit 7. An expert witness in pending litigation in the United States District Court, Northern District Court of Georgia, Atlanta Division 17 CV 02989, specifically testified to the acute security vulnerabilities, among other facts, by declaration filed on October 4, 2020. Let's just read this footnote. Exclusive. Critical U.S. election systems have been left exposed online despite official denials. Motherboard Tech by Vice by Kim Zetter, August 8, 2019. Okay, so see Exhibit 4B, Document 959-4, attached here to paragraphs 18 and 20 of page 28, Exhibit 4, Hursty Declaration, wherein he testified or found the failure of the Dominion software to meet the methods and processes for national standards for managing voting system problems and should not be accepted for use in a public election under any circumstances. In Hursty's declaration, he explained that there is evidence of remote access and remote troubleshooting, which presents a grave security implication, and certified identified vulnerabilities should be considered an extreme security risk. Harry Hursty also explained that USB drives with vote tally information were observed to be removed from the presence of poll watchers during a recent election. The fact that there are no controls of the USB drives was seen the lack of physical security and compliance with professional standards in one Georgia county, where it is reported that 3,300 votes were found on memory sticks not loaded. Plus, in Floyd County, another 2,600 were unscanned and the found votes reduced Biden's lead over Donald Trump. Okay, we're going to end there for now and we'll pick up again very soon. Thanks for stopping by the Daily Facts. Do like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment below, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.